Greetings, Spring Lake Village folks. Mary Ellen here for another Pilates installment. So we're going to start standing up. Boy, do I miss seeing all of your faces. And I hope you're well at Spring Lake Village. I know you're being well taken care of, and I am doing fine as well. So you're going to start by just standing with your feet right underneath your hips. If you have a towel, that would be helpful for this class, and also if you have a TheraBand. If you don't, we can improvise with a towel. So just start by feeling your feet on the ground, growing those roots down into the earth. One hand on the top of your head, and you're just going to grow tall into the crown of your head, lengthening through your whole spine. A little scoop in the low belly, lifting the ribs up off of the pelvis so you have a long waist, shoulder blades back and down. And let's begin by placing your hands at the lower ribs. And as you inhale, you're going to press your ribs out into your hands. So just expanding the rib cage like a bellows. Inhaling and exhaling, just letting that bellows deflate. Inhaling, pressing out into your hands. Exhaling, release. And keep those top of the shoulders away from your ears. Big breaths in and out. One more, in and out. Then let your arms drop down by your side. And just notice if when you're standing, if your buttock muscles are relaxed. As you're just standing still, you want to keep those buttocks relaxed. There's nothing that those muscles need to do. As you lift your arms up, and then lower your arms down. That's it. Inhale up. Exhale down. Just keeping the shoulder down away from the ear as best you can. And keeping the ribs directly over the pelvis. So if your pelvis were a mason jar and your rib cage were the top of that jar, it would be just directly on top. Nice big breaths. Up and down, keeping the buttocks relaxed. And one more. Just warming up those shoulder joints. Very good. And then we're going to rise up onto the heels. So you're going to lift up onto the, not onto the heels, lift up onto your toes, lifting your heels. And slowly down. That's it, coming up and down. And if you're feeling brave and you want to lift your arms up, feel free to do that. And now you will feel your buttock muscles start to engage a little bit, the whole back part of the body, preventing you from tipping over. That's it, lifting up and down and up and down, working on balance. I'm on a very squishy mat, so I'm really feeling my legs having to work hard. And one more. Oh boy, I miss seeing you in person. And then we're going to do a little tiny knee bend. So you're going to let your knees bend just slightly, and I'm keeping my back straight, just a little small knee bend. Then you're going to lift the heels up, straighten the knees, and down. Okay, so it's a little knee bend, keeping the knees behind the toes. I'm going to bring my arms up just for some counterbalance. Lift the heels, straighten the knees, and down. Bend the knees, lift the heels, straighten, and down. And if you need some balance help, have a chair or something nearby that you can just place one hand on. That's it. Bend the knees, lift the heels, straighten, and down. Bend and lift, straighten, and down. You're going to feel your calves working, bend, lift, straighten, and down. And one more time. Bend, lift, straighten, and down. Nicely done. You're going to feel the back of those legs. So shake your legs out a little bit. And I'm just going to do a slow march. You're going to lift one leg and then the other. I'm lifting opposite arm. Draw your belly in to lift the leg. So that little scoop activating your lower abdominals. That's it. And 3, 2, 1. Okay, I'm going to bring the arms out to the side. We're going to bring one leg up to the march and then opposite hand. We're just going to press into it a little bit and then return. Lift and press. And again, if you need to hold on to something, please do that. Always take care of yourself. Exhale to lift and scoop in that belly. So we're working now those oblique abdominals, that second layer of abdominal muscle. Good, and switch. Working on balance. And don't worry, we are going to lie down. I know that's your favorite part of Pilates. And mine too. Good, and 3, and 2, and 1. Beautiful. Okay, let's transition to the mat. So getting down on the mat as best you can. I'm going to readjust my camera. I have my room all taped out so I know right where to put everything. I think that'll do it. Okay, and we're going to come down onto the back. Something looks a little skewed. Let me fix that. Okay, good. Okay, so we're going to start flat on your back. Just allowing the back to settle into the floor. Allow your chest to be wide. Shoulder blades wide. You're going to line your heels up with those sit bones, those bumps that we sit on. And if you forgot what distance that is, you can start with your feet completely together. Then move the toes open to a V, and then line the heels up with the toes. On your next exhale, draw your belly button gently in, just nice and easy. You're going to float one leg up to tabletop. That's a right angle at the hip and knee. And you're going to lower. Exhale the other leg up to tabletop. And then lower. Just allow your foot to relax. Whatever position your foot is in is fine. So you're just hinging at the hip. We're keeping the low back and the trunk very still. Your shoulder blades are down. Your chin is tucked. To make this a little more challenging, you can switch the legs in the air. So switch and switch, keeping that nice stable low back. So the low back staying in its very same shape. And you want to be sinking in that lower abdomen as if you had a zipper between your pubic bone and your belly button, zipping that up. And again, you can modify this by just keeping one foot on the ground at all times. So remember, our motto in Pilates is no pain is gain. That's what we're looking at, just a gentle way to strengthen without stress. Good, and one more each leg, however you're doing it. On your next exhale, float one leg to tabletop and then the other. Okay? And then we're going to float the arms to the ceiling. This is called the dead bug position. We're going to send the right leg out as the left arm goes over the head. And then back to center. And I'll show you a modification in a moment. Exhale, left leg, right arm, and then right leg, left arm. You're sinking that belly in, keeping the low back still. You can modify this by putting your feet down on the mat and just sliding one heel along the mat as the opposite arm goes over the head. Exhaling to reach away, inhaling to come to center. So either way, legs up or down is fine. Keep that top of the shoulder away from the ribs. Away from the ribs, I meant the ears. See, some things never change. Exhale, reach. Exhale, reach. We're going to do one more each side. And then grab a hold of those legs behind the thighs, just bringing knees into chest. If you have a total hip replacement and have precautions, be aware of not bending your hip greater than 90 degrees. Otherwise, you can just pull those knees in. And I like to rock a little bit side to side. Feels good across the tailbone, across the sacrum. Okay, good. And then we're going to have the legs down on the mat, sits bone distance apart. We're going to bring the arms to the ceiling once again. For this exercise, the same arm and leg will move to the side. So open that right knee to the side and the right arm to the side. Then your left knee goes to the side, left arm. You're keeping the pelvis level. So imagine that tray of drinks across the front of the pelvis. Exhale to the side, inhale to center. Opening to the side. You can make this exercise more challenging by bringing one leg at a time to tabletop and then doing the same movement. Leg and arm open to the side. Pelvis stays level. Leg and arm open to the side. And the arm doesn't have to touch the floor. And it could be a small movement. I want you to imprint that spine into the floor as if you were laying on a sandy beach. That's it. Working on balance and stability in your core. Belly goes in as the leg and arm open. That's it. Let's do one more each side. And side. Good. And then knees come in again, giving that low back a hug. And then we're going to take the hands to the back of the right thigh, and let's stretch that left leg out long. Once again, be aware of any total hip precautions you might have. You may need to keep the leg below 90. So slide that left heel away from your head. So you're lengthening through that left hip flexor in the front of that left thigh. And then let's take that left arm over the head so you get some length in the whole left side. And breathing. Keep your pelvic tilt here, flattening the back. Shoulders away from ears. And then let's switch. You're going to hang on to that right thigh, left thigh rather. See, some things never change. The right leg reaches away, heel away from your head, shoulder blades down. Just notice if your chin lifted up, you're going to pull that chin down. lengthening through the front of that right thigh. Then we're going to take the right arm over the head and reach the arm and leg away from one another. Just getting some length. And then come back to center. And let's place the feet down on the mat. We're going to let the arms come open to a T position. Nice wide chest. And just let your knees go side to side. Let those knees sway. It's okay to let your pelvis come up. I like to turn my head opposite the knees. Feels good on the neck. And one more each direction. Now for this next exercise, I like to have a little support under my sacrum. So I'm going to take my towel and fold it up. It just gives me a little elevation under the tailbone, because we're going to have our legs in the air. So in class, we used to do this on the blue balance discs, or sometimes the yellow ball. So I just have it right under the tailbone. I'm going to float one leg to tabletop, and then I'm going to lengthen my legs up long. I'm going to turn my feet. Can you see my feet? Yeah. So that my heels are together, my toes are apart. I'm zipping up that lower abdomen, and then I'm going to open legs to the side. And then I'm going to bring the heels together. My legs are still turned out. Exhale to open. Inhale to close. Feel free to bend the knees if you feel more comfortable that way. If your hamstrings are very tight, just have a little bend in the knees. That's fine. I'm going to straighten my legs as much as I can. Exhale to open. Inhale to close. Exhale to open. Inhale to close. You can also do this with one foot down on the ground. Just bring your leg to the side. Do a few repetitions on one side, and then do a few on the other side. But that leg is rotated outward. Good. I'm going to do two more. Exhale to open. Inhale to bend. Think about zipping up those inner thighs. You have a little zipper there. Open and close. And last one. Open and close. Oh, I'm feeling those hip flexors. Let's put the legs down. And then we're going to do a long body stretch. You can keep the towel under there if that works for you, or take it out. We're just going to let the arms come over the head. So we do the opposite movement. That feels good. Okay, then we're going to take that towel out. And we're going to line the heels up with the sit bones once again. We're going to prepare to do a bridge. Bridging is where you lift your pelvis up off the floor. So I'm going to have my toes pointed straight ahead and my heels lined up with those bumps we sit on. Now there's two ways to bridge. You can articulate, which is where you roll the spine up, lifting one vertebra at a time, coming up to the base of the shoulder blade or the bra line, and then coming down one vertebra at a time, where you soften the chest, soften the ribs, and the last thing to touch is the tailbone. If you've ever had a compression fracture in your spine, it's best to lift up in a different kind of bridge called a neutral bridge, which is where you lift up as a chunk. You lift everything up as a unit. And then to come down, think about the top of the buttocks coming down before the lower back. So either way you bridge is fine. Inhale to prepare, exhale to lift, whether you're lifting up as a chunk or whether you're coming up one vertebra at a time. Take a sip of air at the top, and then to come down, soften the chest, soften the ribs. Tailbone is the last thing to touch if you are articulating. And then we'll do that again, just on your own breath cycle. Exhale to lift. Take a sip of air at the top. Use your buttock muscles now. And then slowly coming down. That's it. Exhale to lift. Chin down, shoulder blades down. Hips up. Feel the buttocks working. And softening through the chest. Such a good way to keep flexibility through your spine. And we're coming up. And down. And then we're going to come up once again. Good. And from here, I'm going to give you two options. You can do some hip dips where you drop the pelvis partway down and lift up again using both buttocks. Or you can keep those hips lifted and you're going to march in place, lifting one leg, keep that pelvis level, and then lift the other. Alternating sides. This is going to be more challenging than the hip dips. So remember, just do what feels best for your body, either way. Lifting, if you're lifting one leg, don't let that opposite hip drop down. Good. Okay, and then everybody lift your arms over the head. You're going to come way over the head. And then down by your side. Keep those hips lifted. Over the head. And down. Over the head. And now as your arms come down, let your pelvis come down. Let your spine come down at the same time. And then pull those knees into the chest again. Ah, that feels good. We're doing the opposite movement. Bridging is extension. Now we're doing a little flexion. All right, let's grab a hold of your long band. I think most of you have TheraBands. If you don't have a TheraBand, you can just wind your towel up or use a belt or a bathrobe tie. We're going to place the right foot up in the band. Okay, good. And I'm going to keep my left knee bent, if that's best for the low back. Or you can also stretch out that left leg, whatever feels best for your body. We're going to flex that foot toward the face, and then we're going to start to make some small circles with the hip. Now you have to anchor that left leg down. So press down with the back of the left leg, and if your left knee is bent, just press down with the foot. So your goal is to keep the left leg still while the right leg is circling. That's it. Doing whatever feels good. Remember, all the synovial fluid we are stimulating as that leg moves around. Just imagine that shiny white cartilage. All the nutrition to keeping that hip joint healthy. And then reverse directions. You're going to circle in the opposite direction, keeping that opposite leg still. That's it, keeping the pelvis level. There's also a tendency when you're holding the band to shrug the shoulders up. So pull those shoulder blades down. Good. And 2 and 1. Okay, and we're going to bend the knee so the heel comes toward the buttock, and then you're going to stretch that leg up, flexing the foot. Bend the knee and stretch it up. Bend and stretch. And one more. Bend and stretch it. Okay, let's switch legs. Left foot in the band with that knee as straight as you can get it. Right leg has the option to be bent or out long. And we're going to start with our hip circles. Anchoring with the back of that right leg or the right foot if your knee is bent. That's it, just circling that hip around. Keeping the pelvis level. Keep the breath flowing. No breath holding in Pilates. Keep it moving. And then opposite direction, circling in the other direction. You can come across the midline as long as you don't have a total hip replacement of the posterior nature. That's it. And 3, 2, 1. And then we're going to keep that leg long, bend the knee toward the buttock, and then stretch that leg up. Stretching that hamstring in the back of the leg. We just had to work those hammies during the bridge. We had got lots of blood flow there. Now we get to stretch. Dynamic stretch. It's a moving stretch. And last one. Beautiful. Then you can release that leg from the band. Good, and let's just stretch those arms out. Stretch your fingers. Then we're going to switch gears now and roll onto the side. I like to use my ball underneath my head as a pillow. We're going to start out with the legs long, 2 long legs. Okay, and I'm going to make my top leg a little longer than the bottom leg, so I have a little space in the underneath waist. I'm going to point the toes like a ballerina. I'm using my top hand as a kickstand, and then I'm going to point my toe to lift, flex the foot to lower. Point the toe to lift the leg up, flex to lower. It doesn't have to go very high. We want to keep the waist long. That's it. And lower. Point to lift, flex to lower. Point to lift, flex to lower. Little scoop in that low belly. And lower. And point. So we're just coordinating the breath. Exhaling to lift. Inhale to lower. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. 2 more. Exhale, lift and point. Flex and lower. Lift and point. Flex and lower. Then we're going to hover that leg in the air, just in line with the trunk. And you're going to trace the letter U. The letter U. So a little small loop. So your leg's going to come a little bit in front and then a little bit behind. A little in front and a little behind. Make sure your shoulder is down on top. Oops, I lost track of which way I was going. That's it. Good. Just tracing that letter U. And 1 more in each direction. Oh, I'm feeling that leg. Good. And then let's bend the knees in. Okay, we're going to have the shins lined up with the front of the mat. I'm going to drop my pelvis down away from my ribs, which creates the mouse house, a little space in your underneath waist. We're going to do a simple clamshell. So knee lifts and then lowers. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. You can imagine a brick wall or a concrete wall right behind your back that's preventing you from rolling back, so that hip bone is staying pointed forward. Exhale, lift. Inhale to lower. And you can bring your arm up for just a little shoulder stability. That's it. Keep that shoulder blade down. And lift. Now you're going to hold that leg lifted up. That's it. Hold it up there. Hold it up there. Keep breathing. You're going to feel that side of that buttock working. Oh, keep it up. Breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Yes. Say hello to your hip rotator muscles right in the buttock. Okay, we're going to stretch those legs out long. And I'm going to turn my feet so they are in a V position. So the heels are together. I'm going to slide the top leg along the bottom leg. Then I'm going to lift it up. Then bringing the legs together, thighs together, heels together. Inhale to bend that knee, slide the heel, lift the leg, belly goes in, exhale to lower. Inhale, slide and lift, exhale to lower. Inhale, slide it up, lift it up, and lower. That's it. You're getting to use those inner thighs now. Bringing those thighs together. Imaginary zipper. Zipping those thighs up as the leg comes down. And 2 more. And lift. Good, keeping that long waist. And last one. Nicely done. Let's bend the knees and just rock a little bit forward and back before you roll over to your other side. I'm just going to flip my position. Okay, we're going to start out with the 2 long legs. And I'm going to point the toes. I'm just going to float that top leg up and flex the foot to lower. Nice long waist, top leg a little longer than the bottom leg. Point to lift, flex to lower. Exhale to lift, inhale to lower. That's it. Good. Point and flex. Keeping that length right along your side. Good. And 2 more. And 1 more. Then we're going to hover that leg just in line with the trunk, and we're going to trace the U shape. That's it. Up and around. Up and around. Just keep the breath flowing here. So the leg comes a little bit in front and a little bit back. A little bit in front, a little bit back. And you're going to be feeling that side of the buttock working. That's what you want. And last one. And bend your knees. Yeah, say hello to those muscles in the buttocks. Okay, let's line your shins up with the front of that mat. We're going to prepare for a clamshell. Drop the pelvis away from the ribs. You make a little space in that underneath waist. We're going to keep the heels together and lift that top knee and then lower. That's it. Lift and lower. Imagining that brick wall right behind you to keep that pelvic bone going forward. Nice wide chest. Good. Eyes looking straight ahead. I'm sure they are because you're looking at me and not down at your feet. Good. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. And then we're going to lift that arm up just for a little added shoulder stability. Good. Keeping the top of the shoulder away from the ribs, away from the ears. Oh, I said it again. Good. And then we're going to hold that knee lifted now. Hold it and just breathe. A little static contraction. That's it. Hold it. Oh, don't let that knee fall down. Breathe. One more breath. And rest. Good. We're going to stretch the legs out long now. We're going to turn the heels so that they're together and the toes are apart. Slide the top leg along the bottom leg and then lift and lower. That's it. We're going to bend the knee, slide it along, lift it in the air, and then bring those thighs together. Good. Sliding up. It's inhaling on the slide up. Reach, straighten that leg. Exhale as you bring the thighs together. Keeping that waist long. Two more. Lifting up, reach. And last one. Lifting up and reach. Nicely done. Yeah, bend your knees, just rock side to side. Give your glutes some extra love. Okay, then we'll roll onto the back. Let's do some stretches. Okay. You're going to have your feet sits bone distance apart. Let's just take the right ankle on top of that left thigh. Then I'm going to take my hands to the front of that thigh and just press the knee away. So I'm making a space in between the legs. And then if you do not have a total hip replacement here and you don't have hip precautions, you can pull the knee across your body. So I'm stretching the buttock on that right side. Relaxing the shoulders. And then opening. Pressing it open. Pulling it across the body. And then press it open and pull it across. Now one more. Press it open and then pull it across. And then let's switch legs. Left ankle on top of right thigh. We're going to take the hands and press away, opening that hip, and then pulling across. Feeling that buttock stretch, relaxing the shoulders. Pressing away, pulling across. Press away, and pull it across. Press away. So again, it's a moving stretch, it's a dynamic stretch. And one more stretch. Okay, let us roll over. And we're going to start out on the belly, if you are able to do that position. Some people like a towel or a pillow underneath the abdomen. Whatever you choose is fine. So let's begin by just finding your comfortable position. We're going to have the forehead down. I have my hands just at my around my ears. I'm going to drop those shoulders down away from the ribs. I'm going to press my pubic bone into the floor. I'm going to draw my belly up away from the floor. Then I'm going to float that right leg up in the air. I'm going to bring it out to the side a little bit, back to center and down. Then float the left leg in the air, out to the side, center, and down. I'm keeping my low back very still, reaching the leg away from the head, then over to the side, center, and down. Reach, side, center, and down. Good, belly goes in. Exhale to lift it. Inhale to lower the leg. That's it. Let's do one more each leg. Good. Beautiful. Okay, and then we're going to place the arms down by the side. We're going to try a little upper body lift here. So I'm going to press the pubic bone into the floor, flattening my low back. I'm going to float the arms up, then the chest, and then the head. Eyes are looking down. If this doesn't work for your body, just lift the arms. You can keep the rest of the body down. If you're able to, exhale, just floating that upper body up. So arms, chest, head. That's it. Arms, chest, head. And one more lift. Beautiful. And then we're going to push up into child's pose or puppy pose. Child's pose is where your pelvis comes down towards your feet. If you have osteoporosis or osteopenia, you are better off in puppy pose where your hips are high and you let your arms come out in front. Just giving a stretch, gentle stretch. And breathing. And then whenever you're ready, you're going to come up onto your feet. So get up however you can. And remember, if you want to live a few extra years, you're going to try to get up without your hands. I'm just adjusting my camera again so that you can see my full self, I hope. There we go. And you're up. Okay, we're going to end by doing a little squat. I'll show you from the side. So you're going to send your rear end back. Keep the weight on the heels as if you're sitting down in a chair. And standing up. Feel those roots go down into the earth. That's it. Don't let the toes, the feet, the knees rather, come forward of the toes. Keep the knees behind the toes. Good. Arms come forward. Good. Okay. And then we're going to end by doing a little arm swing while you do that squat. Arm swing and up. Let the arms swing and come up. Swing down and up. Down and up. And on the last one, you're going to hold the arms up. Then press your hands out. Pressing the walls to the left and right. I don't have my glasses on. I hope you can see the top of my head. And stretch your wrists back. And then wrap your arms around your body. Give yourself some extra love and appreciation. I miss you all so much. And I'm looking forward to the time when I can see you all again in person. Okay, take care, everybody. And I will see you soon, I hope.